Okay, we will take a few questions. Obviously, we've got a huge crowd here. We decided we're going to go until 9 o'clock tonight. And so if you've got some questions, I'll walk around with a microphone. I'll try to hit all different aspects or all different areas in the room. But then I will return the mic back up here. We only have one microphone to get some answers from both Vicki and Jim. So who's got a question?
I have a comment. My Greek friend, Jim Troupis. Jim, my name is Maria. I'm Italian and specifically Sicilian.
All right.
Tonight I'm Roman, and I'll talk to you sometime about the Greeks and the Romans and who introduced democracy and freedom, but tonight you will. I just want to say thank you and our friend Brian Chimming for being our voices of true voices in Wisconsin for us. Thank you for what you do. Does anybody else agree with me that Vicki McKenna is our voice?
Yes.
Stand up.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Vicki.
Thank you very much. That was very kind of you.
Okay, who else has any question? We've got like 200 people and nobody has a question. There's a question.
Covered everything. We solved it all.
My question is the fact that I'm sitting here thinking that you're talking to the choir, and I have tried in the past to get speakers like Senator Troupis on the school issue to come to our church. These people are so brainwashed. They think that we can't get involved in anything like that. How do we get you to speak to people other than the choir?
Well, you tell people about us. This is the first time we've tried this. But the choir matters. Because a lot of times the choir doesn't here we go.
A lot of times the choir doesn't recognize how to tell the stories. How to tell the story of conservatism. Do you know to go back to the Battle of Marathon? To tell the story of conservatism? We don't tell stories very well. We quote statistics really, really well. You know, we do regression analysis really, really well. We don't tell stories very well. So the choir does matter because the choir needs to learn how to tell a story. The Bible was a series of stories. It's how you learn the Word of God. But we don't tell our stories very well, so I disagree the choir matters. Now, how do you get the voice beyond the choir? That's up to the choir. Go be choir directors. We can't knock on every door, but you can go to grocery stores. You can go organize at your plan commission meetings. You can get your folks, or even you, appointed as dog catcher. I don't care what it is. You find a way to infiltrate this system and begin changing it. I'm going to tell this quick story. Howard Dean, remember when he screamed and melted down? Yeah! Howard Dean, about a month later, came to visit Inn on the Park in Madison, Wisconsin. And he was there to endorse progressive Dane city council and county board and school board candidates in the next round of spring elections. I'm not kidding you. Everybody laughed at Howard Dean. Oh my, how his star has fallen. He could have been president. And there he is at Inn on the Park in Madison, Wisconsin, endorsing these local clowns. And I remember Brian Schimming and I, when we saw that story, looking at each other and going, oh, blank. Howard Dean has always been a student of the concept of, and I was saying this today on the air, think globally, act locally. How do you think the left was able to, in fairly short order, change the American cultural concept of liberty? They didn't do it from the top down. Well, they did. They also did it from the bottom up. And you have to recognize that change doesn't begin only here. Real, permanent reset of American liberty has to start with you guys at the local level on an individual basis that almost seems, you will maybe even imagine it being irrelevant. But that's where it starts. It starts at a very, very, very small level. It starts with the schools. It starts with the school board. It starts with fighting Common Core. It starts with all of these things. Small things. Everybody wants to be U.S. Senator and Congressman. I'd sure love it if somebody just wanted to be a school board member or a member of the Plan Commission, because you'd have more of an effect.
I want to address that because I started out in local politics in a little town in Illinois, doing doors. I find it fascinating how many people today, particularly well-educated Republicans, well-educated lawyers and doctors and others, just simply expect that people will listen to them. That, well, I'll just write a check and that'll be that, or you should listen to me because I'm so smart. Any of us who have dealt with political people over the years, and I know there are several, there's a former senator here and others, who understand it doesn't really work that way. You get out there, as Vicki just said, and you work the local level. I mean, every town has a plan commission. Every school board, every school has a school board. That goes on every day. And your children and your grandchildren see you commit to doing that, and then they commit to doing that. And in relatively short order, we get our country back. And we thought we had it, and it just drifted away from us. But it really does start at that level. And all of us who started in local politics and have gone all the way through recognize that. This group, Ross's group, and other Tea Party groups around the state do write them a check. You know what $100 does? How many times do we waste $100 on a Saturday night? How many times do we throw that away? Send them $100. I mean, it makes a huge difference. If you can't do it, bring in those conservatives and the party and the individuals with your checkbook. And don't think that $10 is a big deal. Because it isn't. Not anymore. What we're being assailed with now, we have got to fight that. We have got to fight that. And if you're not willing to do that, so be it. It's
At all
our
levels.
And I do say there are so many outlets, and not just your own time. There are so many outlets. And as I said, your children, your grandchildren, all are watching for that kind of show.
So we will have
On that, let me just give a shameless plug here. DayWatch.com is exactly that at a local level.
Yes, it is.
The entire reason that we, the people of the Republic, launched DayWatch.com is to give us, our local community, our local common sense community, the opportunity to get our messages out and to start controlling that narrative and to educate us about local issues and about local candidates so that we know, come election time, what are the important issues in my local community, whether it's my local municipality or my school board or Dane County as a whole. That's what DaneWatch.com is all about. It's strictly local issues. And when it comes to those elections, we need to cast a vote for this candidate or that one. We as a 501c4 organization cannot endorse candidates, but we can provide information about candidates so that you can make a better informed decision about who you wish to vote for in your local elections. So if you haven't checked out DaneWatch.com yet, please do. It's a volunteer-driven site, meaning that we don't put communities up on DaneWatch.com unless we've got at least one volunteer from that community that says, I'm going to be involved in this community. So if you're interested, go to DaneWatch.com. There's additional details there. Shameless plug, over. Okay, we'll take another question. Probably one more question here.
Thanks for coming tonight. That was stunning. We'll put on an excellent presentation that helped us galvanize our thinking. The Tea Party movement drives the other side nuts. Because, hey, it's not a party. They keep trying to polarize us, to freeze us, to hold us, and we're like cruising. And that's a river of people that we see here that are concerned conservatives. They cannot compartmentalize us. It's driving them nuts, and it's great. So we got to keep pushing. We got to keep leaning on them, and we will gain ground.
think it's much chance today.
Yeah, run. All right. All right, we're gonna, actually, because it's getting late here, guys, and we know you're past your bedtime. Or happy hour. Thank you for the amazing turnout tonight. Thank you, Ross Brown, and wonderful volunteers of We the People of the Republic. We provided this information for you, not as a solution, just as a way to orient your thinking going forward, hopefully to get you thinking and talking and telling those stories, telling the story that 3,000 years in the development and history of freedom is the story of conservatism. It's the story of the Tea Party. It's the story of America. And to know that and to recognize how the opponents, the enemies of freedom, have used it against us. I hope you're better armed in the future. And I'm looking at actually two local officials here, former local officials, who actually made a dramatic difference in their time in Dane County. And it's Eileen Blasco, right there. Almost single-handedly stopped the seizure of property via regulation in Dane County. I don't know how many times, 3 times we were on the board. I think it was 3 times. Twice, I don't know. And then Nancy Mistel, who in her time on the Madison School Board, and then only during Nancy's time in the Madison School Board did I do her, well, I should say Ruth Roberts, but she's in here, she's a Bolshevik. Only two candidates in the Madison School Board ever stood up on behalf of the taxpayers and made a difference and had a dramatic effect in the form of referendum or policy change that actually put the taxpayers first and the kids first in the schools. And it can happen here. And there's Mike Willett. I'm looking at more people here. Mike Willett was one of the folks on our county board. Carol Russer, I saw her somewhere. There she is. I'm going to miss a bunch of people. But we actually have proved in Dane County, in the belly of the beast, in the den of iniquity, Moscow and Winona, city of chaos, whatever you want to call it, that when conservatives come together on common sense issues that unite us all and tell our stories, we win. And I leave that. If we can win in Dane County, and we can win in Wisconsin, good grief, can't we win in D.C.? Thanks very much, and thank you, Jim Troupis. Thank you very much.
Again, thanks everybody for coming out tonight. Don't forget to grab a brochure on your way out, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. Thanks again.